us, right? So we are here to talk about very important topics. And thank you very much for the invitation and for all the audience to joining us today. So my topic is related to an area that I would like you to know and get more familiar with this map. It's basically the United States, Mexico, and this is the border. The border is share a lot of beautiful things. We share culture, language, and food, amazing things, and of course the river that is the geographic barrier here, where we come from Mexico and cross the United States, and vice versa, either by cars, walking. We bring pets, we bring foods. There is an amazing turnover of people over during the day. As we share all these beautiful things, we also share a legacy of infectious diseases. And that is what I'm just taking a little information of what we have in Chagas disease. Chagas disease that is carried, I'm sorry, that the parasite is carried by triatomine bugs, also known as kissing bugs or chinches besuconas in Spanish. So we have about 11 species in the United States. And here in the valley, in the Lower Rio Grande Valley and Mexico, that is that area that I shared with you earlier, we have three different species: Gerstacheri, Triatoma gerstacheri, Triatoma lenticulara, and Triatoma sanguisuga. The most abundant is the first one, Triatoma gerstacheri. And just to briefly talk or remind us about what happened, the kissing bug is going to get the blood meal, is attracted by the carbon dioxide, same like mosquitoes, right, to the host, get the blood meal, and at the same time, it poops. In this species is when the parasite come, we help the parasite to enter to the circulatory system. When we scratch early in the morning, this Chagas disease might be passing from acute to chronic phases when the disease is basically not detectable. And here's what the danger. This is a map that was showing, and this is an old map of all the cases of human cases known of Chagas disease through blood testing. And in the case of Texas, Chagas disease was not reportable until 2014. And one more time, we are in this area here in the border with Mexico and the United States. Chagas disease, there is no cure, as we know. There is treatment, but it's also difficult to get. And we have other issues going on in the border. Here are representing human cases by zip code. The green colors represent, and the red circles represent kissing bugs that we have gotten, either going to the field or people sending the bugs to our labs. The yellow is the river, and we have Mexico and we have Texas in this size. So we don't have human cases in Mexico. This is just based in the map that I showed you earlier. And all the dots that are in red are kissing bugs that we got that tested positive to have the parasite, the presence of the parasite. And those are the kind of settings, the areas. These are Hidalgo and Cameron County in southern Texas, border with Mexico, are the areas with very, very low income, are the poorest areas. That we have also areas known as colonias that don't have the drainage, don't have the infrastructure that other residential areas. It's important for me to mention this because when people imagine the United States, they always think that, or they might think that we don't have these kind of conditions. And in the southern area of the United States, northern areas of Mexico, we have a lot of high poverty. So the great conditions for the insects to go in the houses. We have collected insects, as I mentioned, or we also got insects from people, and we run tests in all these insects. From 100%, 100 insects, 50% chances that the kissing bug might carry the parasite exist here in this area. So not gonna show too much graphs and numbers. What I want to show more is that because we know that we have the poverty, we have the change in precipitation, temperature, other conditions, people migrating from one side to another. But another detail that I want to mention is that because health care might be expensive or some people might not have it, people from Texas might travel to Mexico to get to see the doctor. So if they might have or happen to have Chagas disease, we might not know in the United States. So this is information that might not be available. So the number of cases of Chagas or autochthonous Chagas might not necessarily be always reflected, just because that the crossing of people going to Mexico is cheaper. And also there is a lot of better understanding in Mexico side about Chagas disease, just telling that in the case of Texas, we started reporting in 2014. So we have the poverty, we have the people that already had as the diagnosed with Chagas. We have the kissing bugs and 50% chances that you see one kissing bug that has the parasite. And we wanted to see what will happen with climate change. So we use, and this is an old paper, we are running models, and I had to say thank you very much to this conference because my colleagues in UT Austin, Dr. Catherine Brown, saw the advertisement from the Wellcome Trust program, and we got the grant to do more modeling and work with local communities. And I'm going to talk more about that, or we will talk more about that, hopefully with results next year if possible. So what you see here, the dots, the red dots, is the presence of the kissing bug. And this is the geographic area, Mexico and the United States, when we run the models. Or what you see in red areas are the suitable habitat, those temperature precipitations that are good, and different variables that are good for the kissing bug to drive, so to survive. So with different scenarios in different years, at this specific time, those all are very old now. So just want to show we did this exercise. In all of them, we have suitable habitat for this kissing bug, Triatoma gerstakerei, that is the most abundant to exist here in the valley. So we have everything. We have everything for Chagas disease to keep being a potential burden here in the area where we live. We did survey also on people about the knowledge or perception of knowledge that they have with Dr. Ravi, that is here with us too. We did this with the students and the local community. 80% of the participants out of 351 participants did not know or were unaware that the kissing bug exists and that they can carry the disease. So they might not report that. In addition to that, flooding facts, I mean, it's happening here in the valley, happening a lot. So sometimes it's just rain per hour, sometimes it's days of raining. And we have these consequences of flooding, urban flooding a lot. So we have then a cascade of, or a synergy of different factors going on here in the valley. And the border with the United States, and all these areas, urban or semi-urban, that can be great reservoirs for the rodents, for the kissing bugs, and one more time for the humans. So checking below your bed is not enough to prevent the Chagas disease. But it will help a lot when people knows more about that, and when we are aware, we can follow the practices in Mexico, and we can, of course, do more surveillance here that we are doing now. And one example that I have about the surveillance between these two areas, Mexico and the United States, is a binational surveillance that we did with the mosquitoes. And it was a great collaboration where we actually learned a lot from both sides. And something else that we do a lot here is community engagement. We work with the local community, with the students, with people around to keep clean the areas, the backyards, the front yards, a lot of problems we have with the tires, everything that can be reservoirs microhabitats for the insects to live, to drive, to lay eggs. We are trying to work at different levels. So basically, that was my short, hopefully uh, timely, and I respect the time of the presentation. But I wanted to share with you that we have all conditions here for this disease, and we are working on that. But it's more. We still have more work to do. So I'm very happy to share with you these settings to talk about what we are doing, what we can do, and all what you are doing. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So with that, I'm gonna.